You got to believe in yourself. You empower yourself. Chase your passion that you can provide a lot of value for. What's the thing that you give to the world?
Find what makes you tick, what makes you passionate. It doesn't have to be the gym. It can be anything, right? But if your passion is gardening, right, go be the best fucking gardener you can be. Like that's the way I see life. It's like I just want anyone that I deal with or anyone that I can impact to be able to gain the confidence and the self-worth to go chase that dream.
What if I told you the way it has always been done is not the best way? Facing your fears will change your life. The passion behind this journey is merging two separate worlds into one with the goal of creating value and awareness for a better life.
I'd rather be sidelined trying to achieve greatness than watch greatness achieved and it only set on the sideline. Now introducing your host, Jacob Emery.
This episode of the Iron and Infrastructure Podcast is brought to you by Unlocking Greatness with Jacob Emery, a coaching community built for those ready to become the strongest version of themselves. Weekly calls, proven playbooks, and a community built to grow. Greatness is not given, it's unlocked. Join us today at jacobemery.com or DM coach at jacobemery44 on all social media platforms. Welcome back to another edition of the Iron and Infrastructure Podcast. Today's guest is a big, massive human, and that's coming from a pretty big, massive human myself. So it's rare that I have someone on the show that empowers the iron game as much as myself, and I'm grateful for that. Corey Ford, welcome to the show. You big, massive son of a bitch, you. Congratulations on your recent performance at York and PA, York Barbell. Dude, the iron game. The iron built your personal and professional infrastructure. You're a coach. You're a leader in the industry. You're a big, strong dude. I'm thankful that you're on the show today. We met here recently at the subscriber event. I think it was in February, beginning of the year, and had a great time talking to you during that event and then after following up. And it's your first podcast, so Corey Ford, welcome to the show.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you for the intro, kind words. I'm stoked to be here, dude.
Who is Corey Ford? Corey Ford, tell me about your life. Who are you?
So first and foremost, I am a father and a husband. I've been married to my wife, who I've known basically my whole life. We've been married for over 11 years now. And we got two awesome kids together who are 6 and 4 years old. And at my core, strip everything away. That's my world. That's probably the most important thing to me. And then outside of that, I am a power lifter. I am an avid gym goer and gym rat. Really, I've spent a lot of my life in the gym, and I'm a business owner now. I kind of went all in and started my own personal training and coaching business. So that's kind of who I am.
I'm going to assume, just based on knowing you so well, that you focus on strength, and probably physical strength and personal mental strength too. I always like thinking about this question, or asking this question to people that lift. But if you had to pick physical or mental strength first, which one would you pick? And I know what I would pick, but what's your answer?
Yeah. Oh, it's mental strength all day, and I think that honestly stems. That my physical strength is rooted in the mental strength. When I first kind of started getting into like fitness and exercise and being in the gym and all that stuff, it actually was almost in the complete opposite direction from where I'm at now. So I started off mostly doing like running and swimming and calisthenics. To kind of get myself prepared for some of the stuff that I was planning on doing in the military. Mm-hmm. So basically, right out of high school, I joined the Navy and started doing a lot of just like distance running and swimming and calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups kind of stuff. And really the focus on that training was to just try and make me like mentally tough to be able to like not be broken up here, because I think that if you have the right mindset, with a little bit of preparation, you can do really whatever you want to do as long as you truly believe in here, that you can do it. I think you can. So my kind of expansion into fitness like started up here first, I think, and then since then I've been able to take that and really apply that pressure to lifting the big weights and powerlifting and the multiply gear and stuff like that, and being able to take that all the way to the extreme.
So the mental place that you have to go from, for me, it was the chalk bowl. I go to that chalk bowl and nothing else matters until that lift is made. Once I get there, I don't hear anything but my own self. And once I get my hands in that chalk and I'm just like I'm getting ready, the next thing that engages me, and let's just say on the bench, when I lay down, I get my back brace, I get in that thing, I take my hands right before I'm getting ready to lift, and I let it go. And Tony Ramos from Westside Barbell taught me this. And I take my hands, and I grab the bar, and I act like I'm bending that bar in half. And that's how I like brace for it. And it engages everything from my head to my toes. You could not come kick me off that bench. Being grounded in that moment is my go-to from the chalkboard to that moment. But for you, you're lifting way heavier weights. You're putting 800 pounds on your back, 550 pounds over top of your head. That's a lot of mental capacity to have in a short amount of time. So let me ask you this from a non-gear lifter, the holding your breath and bracing that hard for that amount of time, because you're not squatting anything fast. You're squatting 800 pounds and it's not fast, it's slow. Yeah. How hard is it to mentally get to that place that you got to go to brace and hold not only your breath and everything, your body in that position, but that much pressure on your back going down and shoot out like a rocket when you hit depth? What's that like? Yeah,
man, that's what I love, man. Like, that's the thing that keeps pulling me back. It's like the deep water, the scary weights, all of it. It's like that. It's such an intense, that feeling in the whole of the squat. Like when you're all the way down the bottom of that squat, buried down there with, 800-900 pounds, 1,000 pounds for some of these, over 1,000 for some of these guys that do this real big. That there's nothing in the world like that, man. It's like it's like the most chaotic and zen thing at the same time. It's like there's nothing else on the planet going on. It's just you and that bar and the gear, and you're trying to make it work. And then, coming out of the bottom of that and standing up with something, that's it, man. That's as good as it gets, dude. And it's so hard to like put into words, but like the challenge and, like you said, like the mental capacity and the physical capacity you have to be able to do all that stuff. There's just nothing else in the world like it, and I think that's what keeps like pulling me into it more and more. It's just that trying to chase that feeling like over and over again, and every time you kind of cross a new threshold or meet a new benchmark or set a PR or whatever, you get to relive that like over and over and over again. And I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to do that.
For me, it's that moment when I'm bringing the bar down on the bench and I'm getting close to hitting depth, hitting my chest. And right when I'm getting ready to take off, it's like, that's the same for me. It's like that moment, I just know I'm going to either probably fucking drop this thing on my head, it's going to hit my rib cage because it's going to slip out of my hands, I'm going to get buried in it, or I'm going to do something great in this moment. And you never think you're going to lift and miss it. You always think you're going to make it no matter what. Right. If you think you're going to miss it, it's over. You shouldn't even get under the bar. It's done. Yeah. But there's a couple moments for me where I didn't realize the amount of weight I had on for myself and what that magnitude was in comparison to what I had done before. We did a floor press one day, and I wasn't feeling that good. And normally a floor press was something at Westside I did really good at. Yeah. And we got up to like 405, and I probably could have done it for 10 times. And it was ugly. And I'm like, man, weight's feeling pretty light today, and I'm not feeling good at all. And so went from that, and then 455, and I'm like, I smoked it. And I'm like, okay, something's going on here. Like, this is weird. I ended up doing 500, and I did 5, and I was like, 5 bills G, put it on. And the whole gym sitting there watching, like, I don't think that I was as nervous as the people spotting me. Because if you miss a floor press, like, you're in trouble. And that's something that no matter how good of a spotter you got, it's troublesome because it's such an awkward angle.
Such a short distance to try and catch one on you, Yeah.
And so I'm going down with it, and it just slightly started going out a little bit. And I'm like, oh shit. But I maintained, right there, and I took my time doing it. And when I got it up, I was like, I didn't realize at that moment how much it was because I blacked out completely. Yeah. But then I got up, and everyone was just staring like speechless. And I was like, That was pretty freaking cool.
Well, that was cool, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Like, what's up, guys? What are you staring at me for?
Hey, was
And
that good or no?
Yeah. And I think I don't know if you got to see me speak at the event, but there was like a bunch of moments like that where I would be completely stuck. My wrist would snap, like break, something would happen, and I would still get it. And it's that perseverance in a moment of hard. It's hard and scary. Something goes wrong, but you don't just let it drop. You don't. You keep and even if you don't get it, you don't stop pushing. You still try.
Right.
So take that message right there and then put it into what you did with taking a leap of faith and starting your business. That's a scary leap of faith, man. And I'll tell you what, kudos to you, Corey, because you're a big dude. You lift a lot of weights. You're intimidating physically as a human when you walk in a room. But that is a scary, hard thing to do. And recognizing that it's hard, knowing it's going to be hard, and having one thing's for certain. You know you're going to have to spend a lot of time putting effort into it, and you don't know that it actually works. And I think that is a beautiful thing about entrepreneurship. What was that leap of faith like for you?
Yeah, so you're 100% spot on there, man. Like the the risk and kind of liability you have to take on to be able to do that, especially kind of at my stage in the game. So, I'm not old by any means, but I'm not a young man either. I'm 32 years old. I'm right in the kind of prime wheelhouse of my life right now. But that means that like I said, I got a wife, I got 2 kids, I got 2 dogs, I got a mortgage. Like I got a lot of boats to float. So like my family cannot. I don't have the luxury of being a 22-year-old dude or whatever, 25-year-old dude that's like alone and living in an apartment, and it's like, oh well, if I'm short on money this month, like oh well, I'll just eat ramen and figure it out. It's like I got mouths to feed and people that depend on me to take care of them and stuff. So like that for me was a lot of the stress of like deciding to be able to do this now. And I just kind of looked at it and said, there's never going to be a good time, right? Like there's never going to be the perfect opportunity to, have, I would have loved to have like a bunch of money, like a year's salary saved up and like all these connections and contacts and things that I could have done to start, and it's like, I didn't have any of that, and I just said, you know what? I don't care. Like, I know I can do this. I'm passionate about it. I care about it. So I'm just going to start doing it. And I'm very fortunate and very lucky to have a lot of good examples to be able to look at. So, I train with Anthony and Val Oliveira over at Anchor Athletics in Concord, New Hampshire. And Anthony's entrepreneurship and business skill and stuff. I get to see a lot of that firsthand, and I get to kind of peek behind the curtain every now and then. He kind of shows me what's going on and how things work and stuff like that. So that was a huge kind of stepping stone for me to be able to take that leap and kind of almost know what I was getting into. I didn't, not quite. You can never really know until you're kind of waist deep in it. But I at least kind of like had, an idea. And I have his help. I have Anthony and Val do so much for me. They help me so much with that kind of stuff. So it's really nice to have like close resources, and then being able to, look at guys like you or like Corey G, like we talked about, like that. The stuff that you guys talk about on a daily basis and all that stuff is like, I just keep logging that stuff in the back of my head all the time, because like you guys have done it, you know what I mean? Like you what I'm trying to do, like it's already been done. I'm not the first person to ever start a fitness business, but I think like what I can offer is unique. So I'm just trying to be able to put myself out there in a capacity for other people to kind of gain what I've gained, from this life, this whole thing, being able to chase weights and work hard and be in the gym. So really the biggest thing was just deciding like definitively to go do it. And then, I was lucky enough to be able to have an opportunity. One of the trainers over at Anchor was seeking a new career opportunity, and he didn't want to train clients anymore. So he had a couple clients that were kind of just floating in the wind. And, Anthony had approached me and was just like, hey, I don't know if you've ever actually really been interested in doing this full time. But, you might be able to snag a couple clients kind of right off rip and then go from there. So I just kind of literally that night we were training, we train at night. So it was like, we were in between sets. Anthony and I were literally leaning on a squat rack, like shooting the shit in between sets. And he's like, "Hey man, Ben's leaving. I don't know if you want to train clients or whatever, or I might have some other guy come in or whatever." And I was like, "Nope, I'll do it." And he was like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, let's roll." And then went home that night, talked to my wife, and was just like, "Hey, I'm gonna quit my job and start my own company and start training people because I feel so strong about it, And she was just like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is what I want to do." I said, "Okay, let's roll." And we just never looked back. It was like almost instant. As soon as he kind of brought it up to me, I was like, "Yeah, like that. You mean I get to be in the gym more? You mean I get to teach people how to do this? You mean I get to show people like what this did for me?" Absolutely.
That's incredible, man. The beliefs that we have or don't have in life are ultimately the things that get us there or don't get us there, whatever it is.
Yeah.
In that moment you said, "I got it. This is mine. I'm stepping into it. I'm going to take it." Regardless of whatever happened, you knew in that moment it was going to work out. Yeah. And even if it didn't work out the way you thought it should or thought it would, it still was going to be what was right, and it was going to be a good outcome because you believed it would be.
Yeah.
We are the biggest bottleneck in our own life, and I think you think about a bottle, and the top of it's real small, and then it gets bigger at the bottom, and there's something blocking this thing. Normally, it is that mental side, the belief systems that we have or don't have, ultimately determine our outcome. Henry Ford, pun intended on this one, I guess, but whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And getting creative, how to think differently, assessing risk. You mentioned risk earlier. What is the risk if I take this thing on? But secondly, what is the risk if I don't? What is the life that I'm going to live? What's the regret I'm going to have? Am I going to let my dream die? At the last Max Effort event on the island, I talked about. I have one of my coaching frameworks called the Dream Framework, and I break it down into direction, risk, empower, action, and mountain. And I have a whole frame for it. But whenever you think about risk, what's the risk if I take this dream on, and what's the risk if I don't? Because if you don't, what happens when you are on your deathbed?
Right.
What happens at the end of your life when you think, "I wish I would have and I can't"?
Right.
To me, that's hell. That's absolute hell on earth to me, is knowing that you had the opportunity to chase your dream and simultaneously not doing it.
Yeah, man. I don't ever want to be in a spot where I look back at things that I've done or experiences that I've had and be filled with regret or what if or whatever. I don't leave any what ifs in my life for anything. If I see something that I want or that I'm passionate about or whatever, I'm going to run to it because I know that when it's all said and done and it's all hung up and I'm sitting there looking at everything, I don't want to sit there and play the game. I want to enjoy it. You know what I mean? I want to sit there and look and be like, "Yeah, man, that's what I did." That's what this was. And I think it's, like you said, I think it's super important to kind of recognize that it is up here. We choke ourselves off from so much because it's the self-doubt or the criticism that you let leak in or whatever it is. You got to tell that voice to shut up sometimes. You know what I mean? It's I don't need to hear that. What I need to hear, what I need to be telling myself is you can do it. If you want it, you can do it. And you just have to find a way. And you may not know the answer right now, but you'll figure it out one way or the other. And I think being able to learn that through the gym and getting stronger in that format has really, really changed me for the better. And that's, again, part of the whole reason why I wanted to do this to begin with, is because I would love more than anything to be able to give that gift to someone and teach them how to rely on themselves and bet on themselves and know, truly know. It's a difference from you can lie to yourself all you want. You're like, "Oh yeah, I'm the great, I can do it," but it's if you don't believe it, it's not real. So you got to actually feel that way. And so yeah, I think that being able to try and show somebody that is one of the biggest joys of my life right now.
I think about belief blockers and then belief builders. A blocker, let's just say for your venture that you took on, I'm not an expert. You might be judged. You might worry about that. Too much effort and time and not enough reward. I don't know if it's going to work. You can think of all these things. Your story can help somebody. That's the belief buster or builder that I see. Your story can help somebody else, and it can. I know it can. The world knows it can. You just got to reach them out. You just got to find them. You get better every time you do it. So if you think, "Oh, I'm not an expert," well, on a scale of 1 to 10, you might only be a 5 or a 4. But what about the person that's a 1 that you can get to that 4 or 5? You don't have to be an expert. You just want to help people that are a step behind you. That's the big thing about it. Someone coming in and wants to be a power lifter at your size and your weight and wants to be that professional, that good, and they weigh 135 pounds. Okay, well, you're at a 1 and I'm at a 10, so let's get you to 2 first. Let's not try to get you first we got to get 100 pounds on you, and let's see if you even want to do what it takes, because it's going to take 15 years to actually do it. And so just breaking that down into what the reality is, and then understanding that reality, and then the belief system that you have to build that into, an outcome that you want to have. I have a clear framework, and it's clarity, learn. So whenever you're setting a goal out, them are the first 2, but do you have clarity about what you want? Is it crystal clear in life? You knew in that moment, this is what I want and I'm going for 100%. Yeah. So many people are not clear enough on what they actually want out of life. And so they dabble in a lot of different things. They give up quickly and they stop before they should, but they don't ever really get the clarity that they need. So clarity, do you need to learn anything? So if it's a delegation or a goal that you're setting, what do I need to learn? What kind of training do I need to have to be able to do this? What is the thing that I don't know that I need to before I can make that commitment? And then you have end date. What's the date on the calendar of which you're going to achieve this? So clarity of the learn, end date, advocate. So if it's a delegation, are you incentivizing that person to do it? Do they have the capacity to do whatever it is? Are you just advocating it, or are you delegating it? If it's a goal setting, if you want to go do a triathlon tomorrow, or you want to go do anything like that, you haven't trained that way for a while, I'm assuming. So it's unlikely that you're going to be able to jump into the deep waters and go do the things you used to do. So it's not the capacity or the time for you, so it would not make sense. And then at the end, you have a roadblock. So clarity, learn, end date, advocate, roadblock. I can have a chef, the best chef in the world that knows how to cook anything in the world. He knows that he needs to get this omelet made immediately. There's no reason to incentivize him. That's how he makes money, and that's his passion. He don't have any eggs. Corey, I ain't got no fucking eggs. I can't make an omelet. No way around that. So getting clear about what you want specific out of life is very hard, and you've done that. And so kudos to you for not only taking the leap of faith, but having the clarity and the awareness that you're committing 100%. I think commitment is the true superpower to life, because I either commit and I get it, or I die trying to get it. That's commitment 100%. So you committed to this thing and took on that leap. Faith and fear both demand that we believe in something we can't see, and the choice is just ours.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like you said, like the clarity to know what you want provides you with like the confidence to go get it, right? It's like if I truly know what I want to do or where I'm at or whatever, then I know that I'm okay with whatever outcome as long as I'm pursuing that goal, right? Because it's like, if that's truly what I want and that's where I'm at, then whatever happens along the way is okay, because you're willing to go through those things to get that thing that you're looking for. So yeah, that's fantastic. The clarity portion is huge, and knowing kind of where you want to end up, I think is a hard thing for people when they don't have like the consistency and discipline, or haven't like experienced that before. For me, this kind of venture and this dive into being a business owner and having my own show basically was obviously scary, but like not. I've built the skills to do this through other avenues of my life, between different personal experiences and professional experiences. Like I've added these skills to my tool belt to know now at this point in my life, like, okay, I can do this because I've done X, Y, and Z already, and like constantly building on that for me is something that I think has been beneficial and important to really success anywhere is being able to take experiences that you've had in the past and then translate them to the thing that you're going through at the time to be able to get through that, whatever that bottleneck or that hurdle is.
We don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems.
100%.
James Clear, Atomic Habits. If you haven't read that book, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
A system to me is save yourself some time, energy, money. That's what system represents to me. Yep. It's about building your life for success. I think about a success system in life. It's living life on your terms, doing the thing you want with purpose So your purpose, you're living within the thing that lights you up every day.
Yeah.
Time, you do it on your time. The time that you want to allocate to whatever you want in life, you do it. Relationships, you only hang out with the people you want to hang out with. If you're growth-minded, you're only hanging out with growth-minded people, but the relationships are on your terms. You're not stuck in an environment you don't want to be in. Everything's on your terms. And the last one's financial, the money. But money is more of a tool than it is a desire to have an end goal. A lot of people think that wealth is something that everyone desires, to go get rich. I want to go get rich. If you want to just go make a lot of money, if you want to go just be rich, what happens is you never become rich, because it's a mental space first. You got to be rich in your mind before you're rich in your bank account. You got to believe in yourself. You got to power yourself. If you're just in it for the money, you're probably going to do something that's not morally correct, where you might slip down a slippery slope and get busted, do something wrong, right? You might get a lot of money, but you might end up in prison for it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Chase your passion that you can provide a lot of value for. What's the thing that you give to the world? Whether you make money or don't make money doing it, where's your value at in the marketplace? And then you get it monetized, and then you make money because you're passionate about it, and then the value's there. You spread the brand around, build your brand, and like for yourself, you build this brand, you become this staple in your community, and you're gonna create value in the community, which will create value for you monetarily. But you gotta have a standard, and everything to me starts with a standard. Build your system based off the standard. I don't care how high of a goal you have in life, how big of a thing you want to achieve. I want to colonize Mars, Elon Musk. Well, crazy son of a bitch probably going to do it, if anybody. If you look at what he's doing right now, everything he does is for that, and it's absolutely absurd. But he says that, and he's figuring out how to do it. If I said that, everyone would look at me like, you need to be put in a mental institution, because that would probably be a valid thing. But you got to have a standard. If I wanted to go squat 1,000 pounds tomorrow, it's a laughable thing. It's not going to happen. My standard doesn't equal that goal to be achieved. So my standards, I call it the standards of greatness. The first one is no snooze. You do not hit the fucking snooze button in the morning. You get up when the alarm goes off, 2:50 a.m., Monday through Friday for myself. I get up, I do what I have to do. Forget about your feelings, Corey. Follow the plan. That's how I live my life. It's really the discipline over the motivation on that. No snooze, and it starts the day right. Next, physical output. We're iron addicts. It's a given. But daily only 10 minutes though. And the reason I say 10 minutes, on off days, it's a 10-minute walk maybe. It's an active recovery. It's intentionally moving your body for 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day ends up becoming 60 hours in a year. 60 hours a year is a lot of time. That compound effect over time is massive. But you got to move daily with intent. My recommendation, if you don't have anything that day, take a 10-minute walk with intent after you eat your last meal of the night, and it digests better. It's all good at that point, but it's falling forward. You might not squat 1,000 pounds this day, but you might fall a little bit. You fall forward though, you don't fall back. Always pushing the momentum forward. I think a lot of people stop on the weekends, and then they reset on Monday, and they gained 5 steps last week, and they took 4 back on the weekend. So it's just that continuous momentum going, and the momentum stays in place with the motion that you apply to it. So physical output, 10 minutes a day, and it's the consistency over the intensity with that. It's just keeping that thing going. 5 days a week, dude, I train like a savage. And even lately, it's been 6 to 7 days a week. I've been putting in the extra time just because that's the thing I need. But 10 minutes a day is the standard for me. Physical output, and then the next is mental input. If you're growing your body, you got to grow your mind. You got to mentally move it forward as well. Yep. So it could be reading a book, it could be listening to an audiobook, watching a podcast, whatever it is, but it's something that's getting you closer to the life you want to live. It's something growth-minded, but just 10 minutes a day. My personal development is like an hour to hour and a half every morning. So I get to the gym about 3:30. 3:30 to 5 normally is my gym time. 5 to 6:30 is normally personal development. So as soon as I leave the gym, audiobook, whatever it is that I'm focused on, I put it on. And that is me getting home, me getting in the shower, me getting ready for the workday, going to the business, whatever it is, hour and a half normally. But 10 minutes a day is a requirement. If I'm getting a shower on Sunday afternoon, personal development, 10 minutes a day, right? That's still pushing that thing forward. So my best recommendation is superset it. Physical output, take a 10-minute walk, put on audiobook, whatever, and that 10-minute walk being the bare minimum becomes an hour because it's something that you like to do after time. And then you got to track and attack, number 4. The 4 standards, track and attack. Track your progress. You cannot manage what you cannot measure. If you measure it, you can look at it, you can scale it, You understand what happened, why it happened, and then you got to attack every day. And when I say attack, I don't mean like violently attack. I mean like with intent. So intentional attention. If I'm taking a nap on this day, if I'm not doing anything but recovering, I am doing that with full intent. I'm present in the moment. And I always say that being present is a gift. I think that's why they call gifts presents. And it's just attacking that day for whatever you're doing, whether personal or professional, being there and doing the thing that you need to be focused on. Nothing's worse for me and myself than being 1 foot in, 1 foot out on whatever I'm focused on, and then not getting anything accomplished when I'm focused on too many things. And then the last one, dude, gratitude and preparation. One of my core values in my coaching business and in my life is win or learn. I don't ever lose, Corey. I win, get my desired outcome, or I learn, don't get my desired outcome, but I have a hell of a learning lesson to go with it. And there's been a lot of learning lessons lately. You know, I'm ready to start winning, but it's gratitude, preparation. I'm grateful for everything. My adversity in life, my story, some people think it's catastrophic. I think it's my story. I'm grateful for it because no matter what, life happens for me, it doesn't happen to me. And so you just got to be thankful for the ups and downs and know that I'm in control. No matter what it's on me, I have to own it. Regardless of what the outcome is, I have to be in charge of it. And then the last one is preparation, dude. Gratitude, win or learn, but preparation. Success today, Corey, started last night. And when I say preparation, I just mean the basic things. I'm like a third grader, dude. I set out my jug with max effort aminos in it every night. It's ready. My food's ready. I got my little lunchbox. You know, I'm like by 7 a.m. every morning, I know where I'm going, what I'm doing, mental, physical, everything is set for the day. And I'm like a third grader going to get on the school bus with my backpack, my lunchbox, and a smile on my face. And I'm carrying my little water jug ready to go to the workplace for the day, whatever it is. Preparation starts the night before. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Louis Simmons always said that. And as an iron addict yourself, I know you probably live by some of that as well, where you know if I go into the gym hungover, I'm probably not preparing the way I need to, right? You got to prepare. So them are my standards. I live by them. I die by them. You got to have a standard in life, my man. And knowing that standard, knowing the goals, what's some of your daily non-negotiable things that you have that you know, I got to do this today and tomorrow and every day thereafter, or else I'm not living up to my full potential?
Yeah, so you brought up a lot of good things here, and I do a lot of the same stuff. So, you know, you talked about that like physical component and moving every day, like that 10 minutes a day at a minimum. So I train 4 days a week. We train Monday night, Wednesday night, Friday night, and then I train Sunday. On top of that, I started doing something called the 300 Project. So I do 100 push-ups, 100 lunges, and 100 toe touches, or basically like a body weight RDL every day. So yesterday was actually day 400 in a row. I've been doing that. And that kind of started as kind of like, so I started with the lunges, like Corey G's talked about for conditioning and stuff like that. And Anthony was a big lunge guy, and same thing. One of my training partners, Josh Larner's got over 1,000 days lunging every day. So that's kind of how I started with the lunges, and then started seeing just the crazy benefits from doing lunges every day, and realized like, well, okay, if the lunges are helping me squat, like, you know, and then Josh started doing push-ups to help his bench, and his bench took off. I was like, okay, well, if the lunges are helping me squat, he started doing push-ups to be able to help his bench, so then I started doing push-ups. That made my bench go up, and then added the toe touches to be able to kind of do some auxiliary stuff for deadlifting. You know, and it's been so much better than I even thought, even just outside of like the benefits of being stronger. I'm, you know, more pliable, more flexible, and like you said, like the commitment to myself to do that every day, whether I want to or not, whether I'm tired or not, whether it feels good or not, like that makes you tougher mentally and it makes you tougher physically. And I think the benefits from doing stuff like that are just insane. So that's one of my like non-negotiables. Every day I will do that. A lot of times when I do that, I do listen to either like a podcast or something educational to be able to train my mind while I train my body. I agree. I think it's super important to work both. A lot of times for me, that looks like even just kind of shifting gears and maybe getting out of like either business or training, and like I like to fiddle around with the guitar a little bit, you know what I mean, just to kind of like completely shift gears, and I love music, and I'm not good at playing, but I just like to try and learn, you know what I mean. I think learning is important, so I try and learn something every day, whether that's, you know, related to what I'm focused on or otherwise. It's just if I can learn something, I feel like I've accomplished something. So that's another like non-negotiable thing for me. And then one that I've really been trying to focus on as of late is my food. So I have been like really dialed over the last month eating. I've been like logging and actually posting a lot of my meals and stuff in my stories. And like to some people, that food stuff probably looks pretty crazy because I'm kind of eating like an asshole right now. I'm trying to put on some significant size. So I'm eating all the food, man. Like, you know, pizzas and in between the good stuff, it's like, you know, 70-30 probably good food, and then some junk on the side here to try and put some weight on. But really being disciplined with my food and trying to eat right to get where I want to be. And again, like that fuels everything else, right? The food fuels the performance, fuels your brain, like all that stuff. So I would say right now, like those three things really are part of my like non-negotiable daily routine. And then overall, just trying to be there as much as I can for my family. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I got 2 little kids that look at me like I'm a superhero. And that's a huge burden, man. It's a gift and a responsibility, because they're like sponges, dude. They don't ever stop absorbing. They don't ever stop learning and listening and paying attention. And they hear what you say, but they see what you do a lot more. So like for me, walking around the house and doing stuff on a daily basis, it's like I want them to know that like dad is about it. You know what I mean? Like I don't just say this stuff. Like I don't just talk a big game or whatever. Like I do this shit every day, and I will do it every day, and you can depend on me to do it every day, and them knowing that like I will follow through with whatever I say, hopefully to me will lend them to, maybe through the teenage years when they're a little bit more rambunctious, believe me, when I try and tell them something, to know that, I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm not the type of person that's just going to say something just to say something. I walk the walk too. So I think that's a huge proponent to all of this, really, for me, is to be an example for them, Yeah.
I always think about, like, if you had a video camera on you all day and you couldn't hide anything, you were watched all the time, every day, what you did, would you be proud of yourself? Would you look at that and say, yeah, that's a good person? Or would you start questioning your choices in life? And it's powerful when you have kids. I have 2 daughters, 7 and 4 years old, so I'm right in that same age gap. Or age, time. It's wild, man. I tell you what, you want to become humble. First of all, be a big dude that's intense, that's, can go to great amounts of violence. Yeah. And never want to or have to anymore, and control it in front of 2 kids. Like, holy shit, Batman, I'm telling you what. Because there's times you're like, dude, I'm going to snap this barbell in half right now. And I think that knowing the difference between violence and non-violence, you have to be able to go to the lengths of hell with violence and hope that you never have to be a leader, in my opinion. Being non-violent doesn't mean that your strength or you're strong or any of that. You have to be violent to some extent. I can't remember the quote now. Jordan Peterson says it, but he says, you have to be able to go to the lengths of great violence. You just never want to have to. It's kind of like carrying a gun. You don't ever want to have to use it, but if you carry a gun, you're using it just in case you ever need to. And being weak or not being able to be strong enough to go to the lengths of hell for violence means that you can't protect yourself or the people you care about. And so just in that alone, it's like, man, you got to be able to tame it, but you got to be able to untame it if the absolute worst case scenario is there. Because what happens when you can't do anything about the situation? To me, that would be just catastrophic. So I say that to say, like, leading by example with what we do, our kids do not listen. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Your kids don't listen. They see. They watch. They see what you do, not what you say. And so just knowing that they are like sponges, like you said, and they're going to absorb your actions and not your words. And as adults, I think that's a very good learning lesson for us as adults. What do people say and what do people do? If you do what you say you're going to do, I can trust you. If you do the opposite of what you say, I can also trust you, but I can also trust you to be unreliable.
Right.
And so, like, the biggest paradox I think I've learned lately is if you say, I don't have confidence to go do this thing. Well, you can't say you don't have confidence because you said that very confidently. Well, I can't trust that. I can't trust that person. Well, you can trust saying that you don't trust them. So you do trust something.
Right.
And so whenever you look at it, you can trust this person just to do maybe the wrong thing. You're confident in this person maybe to do the wrong thing.
Right.
What are you to yourself, though? Do you trust yourself to do the things that you say you're going to do? Look in the mirror, not out the window, and assess yourself as a person. Am I leading by example? Not saying I'm going to, but am I actually doing it?
Right.
And there's a lot of people that don't do that, Corey, but I'm going to venture to say, if I followed you around all day, you're leading by example, my friend. And I can tell that just by the way you show up every day.
Yeah, I'm trying to, man. I think something that a lot of us probably don't think about is like I think anybody that's successful recognizes that like you need to be around other successful people, right? Like you need to surround, your inner circle, quote unquote, needs to be, people that you strive to be like, or care about qualities or all that stuff. Like the people that you surround yourself are 100% going to shape who you are as a person, right? And we get to choose all those people, and that's fantastic, right? All the people that we have in our inner circle are people that we have selected through experiences and time and relationships and all that stuff. But there's only one person in your inner circle that you don't get to choose, and that's you, right? And you get to control everything that you do. So like being able to, like you said, lead by example, do the things you say, like have positive inner dialogue, have belief in yourself, have self-confidence, like all those things that you look for in other people. It's like, do you do that every day? You know what I mean? How it's almost like how dare you expect somebody else to do the things that you want when you're not even willing to do them for yourself? Why would anybody else, give you the time of day or whatever, give you anything really, if you can't even do those things for yourself? And I think that like reframing, thinking about things that way, I think it creates it creates supreme ownership, right? Like it all of a sudden you begin to happen to the world instead of the world happening to you, right? And it's you lose the like, woe is me and this is happening to me and whatever. It's like, no, man, I'm driving this ship. I'm doing this thing right now. And the other is that it also sets the example for the other people in your circle to see like, oh no, he's about it. Like this is, I better step my game up because he's not going to slack, right? So now I'm not going to slack. And I think that I'm very fortunate that I'm surrounded by a lot of very like-minded people, and my close friends and my training partners and the people that I'm around every day are the same way and push themselves through every facet of life, and it almost makes it easier. You know what I mean? It just makes it easy. You look over to your left, to your right, or whatever. You're having a hard time or a hard day or a hard set or a hard rep or whatever, and you look over and the guy or the girl next to you is doing the same thing, going through the same stuff, carrying the same weight, walking that same hard uphill battle. And, you see that and you go, okay, I can do it. Like they're doing it, I can do it, and we all kind of just feed off each other that way.
Your environment's everything, dude. Your environment will create your evolution. It absolutely 1,000% will. I can tell you right now, dude, I've had people try to bring me down my entire life. I have lost so many people that were close, friends, family, but everybody wants you to win when you're not winning. Everybody wants you to win when you're struggling and you first say, I'm going to try to do this thing.
Yeah.
At 22, 23, I said, I'm going to buy a pipeline by the time I'm 30. And everybody said, yeah, you're cute, fucking idiot. You're never going to make it, whatever. Yeah. Dead or in jail by 21 was my ceiling of success in high school. Yep, you're never going to make it. You're never going to go to college. You're never going to do this. You're never going to do that. You're going to be, in jail. You're going to be dead by 21. Like, that was my ceiling. And I refused to allow that to register to me. Now, for a while, I did believe it. But the most empowering thing for me was, you know what? Maybe they're going to be right. Maybe not.
Right.
99% of the time, though, Corey, I have been wrong. The world's been right. The world was right about me for so long. it's painful to even think about now. But when I bought our pipeline, dude, I was right one time. And that one time, the 0.01% chance that I had to actually accomplish that, 0.01 if I was lucky, that one win forever made me right. And fuck them people, they can go to hell. Because them are the type of people that will try to tear down the world when they're just torn down themselves. Instead of trying to uplift somebody and pick themselves up at the same time, they're going to put the world down because they're down and refuse to get back up. And fuck them. I can't tolerate it. That's how I live my life now. So your environment creates your evolution, dude. Everything you said was genius. I absolutely agree. And it's like, if someone's not bringing value to me, you don't have to bring equal value. You just can't devalue what I'm bringing.
Right.
Like, so if it's not a 0 or a 1, it's a negative.
Right.
I can't live with that. It's not that I'm better. I'm worse. It's not. It's I'm going in a growth minded direction. If you're not growing at all and you're trying to make me stop growing, even if it's by default, I am not going to give you my time. Time is precious. As you go into business and as you start, we always keep learning. And right when you think you know something, you realize that you don't. And I got a quote I want to read you. I thought this was absolutely genius when I read it. As the island of my knowledge grows, so does the shore of my ignorance.
That's brilliant.
As the island of my knowledge grows, so does the shore of my ignorance. And I thought, I read that and I'm like, oh my God, that's so good.
True.
It is, dude. Even a lifter at your stage, you learn something every day. And right when you think you got it all figured out, something else happens and then you realize that you don't. Being humble and aware enough to know that I only know a little bit about life. And the more I learn, the bigger the gap probably is because I'm not naive anymore.
Right.
As the island of my knowledge grows, so does the shore of my ignorance. Whew, man.
That's a
banger.
Yeah.
When I heard that, dude, it was like the aha moment of what I needed to describe my life.
Yeah.
And so, Corey, as you learn more, as you gain more knowledge, you get more confidence, and then fall down and get picked back up, my friend, you're on a great path right now because you are very aware of who you are, what you represent. You have the environment of people around you. You're growing every day, I can tell, and you're doing something uncomfortable today to become a different person tomorrow, a better version of yourself. My friend, you're killing it. For what it's worth, I'm proud of him, man. Taking that leap of faith itself is one of the most empowering and scary things you're ever going to do, and you don't seem scared at all. And even though you're this big monster motherfucker, I'm telling you, we all get scared, but you don't seem scared, my friend. If there's anything I can ever do for you, all right, I got you. Anything you ever need, business-wise, whatever it is, you don't ever hesitate to reach out.
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
You're an awful humble dude. I don't know how tall you are. I know you weigh about 275, probably 6'4", roughly. And it's very rare.
280 right now.
Okay. Putting them pounds on, man, that pizza got you going a little bit higher. Got the MLBs going up.
Yeah.
It's rare that I meet too many people that are like massive in comparison to myself. And normally, just by default, whatever environment I'm in, I'm normally one of the bigger guys, if not the biggest. And it's funny whenever I meet someone else, everyone's like, that guy's a fucking monster. I'm like, yeah, he's bigger than me too. Like, I know, I understand, which is always fun. So I got to ask a question though. We were talking about the food earlier. What's your calorie intake right now? Give me some macros. Hit me with it.
Whew. All right. So right now I'm trying to push over 6,000 calories a day. And I'm eating roughly 320 grams of protein. That's pretty much, I don't really track the other stuff right now because for me, it's not, it's not super important. I don't mind a little extra fluff on me right now.
Right.
But yeah, I'm trying to push over like 6K for calories and then, just over 300 grams of protein. I've been keeping this one to myself, but I guess I'll put it out in the world. I'm trying to get back. At one point, I was 300 pounds. I'm trying to get back to 300 pounds with abs. That's what I want. So
damn,
we'll put it out there. Now there's no going back. I can't falter now. So 300 pounds with abs. Hopefully that's where we're going.
You're not there yet, my friend.
Nope.
Just remember that. You're not there, but you got to put the yet at the end of it. Let's go. You're going to get that. Whenever you get it, I'm going to be like, he said it here first, folks. Iron and Infrastructure is big, beastie 300-pounder with bricks showing off.
Yeah.
Said it here first. So that's awesome, man. Well, you got clarity about what you want, dude. You're living life on your terms. You're absolutely killing it. I'm glad I met you that day. I'm honored to have you on the show. I want to give you the floor. Where can the people find you? I'm going to let you close the show out. It's your floor. Take all the time you want. Let the people know where they can find you. Any final thoughts you got, Corey? The stage is yours.
Awesome, man. Yeah, first off, just like thank you so much again for having me on here. I loved getting to watch you speak at the Beats and Barbells event a few months ago, and learned a lot from watching you tell your story and kind of explain like where you're at. So I just want to thank you for this opportunity and the few conversations that we've had and stuff like that. You can find me on Instagram. My business page is Ford Fit Performance on Instagram, and then my personal page is Big C Ford 40. I'm on Facebook. It's just Corey Ford. Working on a website right now. I got somebody building a website for me for the business, so I'll have a bunch of stuff on there soon. Looking to do like some daily blogs and workout programs that you can purchase or get for free and all kinds of stuff. So trying to build the stuff that way. No, I think the biggest thing for me is I just want to share, my message and my kind of purpose through this, which we've touched on throughout this whole thing, is just like, I want to be able to provide what I've been given from the iron to other people, man. Like I would not be where I am today without the discipline and the consistency and the lessons and all the stuff that I've learned from training and working hard and being in the gym and all that stuff. Like there's so much, and I know, there's so much more that I can still get from it. You know what I mean? And it's like being able to live every day and grow and get better and do all that stuff provides so much more than just a physique, right? Like that's a great side effect of being in the gym, is like you get to look jacked and cool, with your shirt off. That's awesome. Everybody wants that. But on top of that, like there's just so much more that all that stuff gives you. And it's given me, my whole life at this point, you know what I mean? My life is the gym. I'm in there Monday to Friday training clients and helping people get stronger and faster and leaner and all that stuff. And then, I spend my free time in the gym training. And when I'm not in the gym, I'm thinking about being in the gym and eating and fueling and sleeping and all that stuff. So, there's just so much that the gym can do for people, and it has done for me. And I know that I can be able to give that gift to someone and not only let them get what I've got, but expand on that further, right? Like anyone that's shown me stuff, I've been able to kind of take it to the next step, right? And like something that, it's kind of funny. Something my dad used to tell me all the time, like growing up, is like, it's like, you got to do one better, right? So he told me, like, his dad used to tell him, like, hey man, you got to be one better than I was. And he used to tell me that as a young man, hey, you got to be one better than I was. And, I want my son to be one better than I am. But it's like, you can do that. That applies to anyone for anything, right? It's like, if I can show you, if I can show someone something, they can then take that and just, tweak it and make it one better and give it to the next person. And that, like you said, that compound effect over time, being able to take lessons and teaching points and all that stuff from a bunch of different people, to be able to put into your bag is invaluable. And I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by a bunch of people that have a ton of experience in the things that I love. It's like very, very rarely is anyone going to do anything for the first time anymore. You know what I mean? Like people have been on this planet a very long time. I guarantee you, anybody sitting at home or whatever, like if you want to be the best balloon animal tire in the world, like there's somebody that does that already, right? So like find that person, talk to that person, learn how that person works. And then you can take that and do it one better, and then all of a sudden you're the best in the world at it. So, that's kind of just what I want to share with people, is like, seek out the things that you care about, find what makes you tick, what makes you passionate. It doesn't have to be a gym. It can be anything, right? And the gym is I think something that we share. It's something that I love, and so I've dove headfirst and all into that. But if your passion is gardening, right? Go be the best fucking gardener you can be. Like that's the way I see life. Is like I just want anyone that I deal with or anyone that I can impact to be able to gain the confidence and the self-worth to go chase that dream. So that's really like my purpose here is teaching people how to chase their dreams and build the discipline and consistency through strength and fitness.
Man, that is a powerful closing, my friend. I'm not going to add a word on top of that. Corey Ford, you big, strong, fast motherfucker, thank you for coming on the show today. An iron addict in himself. That's what the show's all about, the Iron and Infrastructure podcast, the iron building personal professional infrastructure for myself. Corey, it's done it for you too. I appreciate your time today, my friend. Until next time, we'll see you soon, hopefully. Hopefully you're back in Ohio here soon.
Yes,
this has been the Iron Infrastructure Podcast. Corey Ford, the beast himself. Thanks for joining the show today.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate everything.
By R&R Pipeline Inc., an infrastructure company. Join our team today at rrpipeleineinc.com